Rise and shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
Well, when we think about modern Australian Christian bands, For King and Country comes to mind immediately. It was started by brothers Joel and Luke Smallbone. They've literally had billions of listens across the world, and it's our great pleasure right now to welcome Joel to the studio on Rise and Shine. Joel, welcome.
Unfortunately, you don't have For King and Country, you just have For King.
Oh, you take the king, not the country?
I take the king, no. Because the joke, Phil, is that, the king is nothing without the country.
Yeah, okay.
But the country can live on without a king.
Really?
So it's,
Spoken like a true older brother. I had older brothers, and I think that would be their thought as well.
That's quite deep. I've got to think about that for a while. Yeah, it'll sink in.
Think about it. Ponder it. Yeah.
Salah on that one. Well, actually, we have known you've had a whole year off, and now you've come back firing on all cylinders, like literally lighting up the stage at the Dove Awards with your brand new song, World on Fire. Joel, I love it. We love it here at Vision. We are playing it all the time. I love that you literally lit the stage alight to lead out on the Dove Awards. And it made me think you've got fire over the front of the stage. You're holding up clubs of fire in the air. The words are, "This is a little light of mine." It looks like it was a Crocodile Dundee moment. That's not a light. This is a light, like you were shining it. How was that for you guys?
Phil, I literally said to someone earlier today, because they were at the awards and they were sitting 12 rows back, and they felt like they got their eyebrows singed.
Yes.
And they were like, "How did you guys even survive up there?" And it's such a funny thing, because we've been a duo for almost over 10 years now, and we've never actually done like fire before.
Well,
but it felt sort of apt. And I felt like I was honoring the Australian way of sort of go big or go home. That's not a fire. This is a fire.
Yeah. And you really did.
Well, it's certainly memorable. Yeah. Now, you mentioned your Australian connection, Joel, and for some of our audience who maybe are new Christians, just got into the Christian music scene, you are based in America, but you are an Aussie family. When you come back to Australia, what do you like most about revisiting your ancestral homeland?
First of all, I love caramello koalas.
Yum.
Oh, yes.
And a big respect.
You've got to get your priorities straight. Cadbury's chocolate. I'm a big chocolate junkie. Now, we have all of our relatives back in Australia. So 24 cousins and aunts and uncles. My grandparents have passed. But it's an oasis to us. And partly, too, because I love the time change, too. I literally love that when America and the Northern Hemisphere is waking up, we're going to bed, and the other way around. And so you because we often go down for holidays, and so we're coming down, and it really feels otherworldly. And you guys know enough to know. I mean, I'm talking to you from Nashville, Tennessee, where we live in the States, but it's all very intense over here, And so there's the no worries, mate. The beach is. Yeah, I miss it.
Well, we miss you, and you've had a whole year off touring. Are you coming back, Joel?
We can talk about it a bit here and there. I mean, I've been told that everything's world on fire right now. You know, everything's about the song and the music video, and as you said, the performance, and we're really proud of it. It is a part of a wider project, as you would imagine. That I was just in the studio working on today. We're doing 14 concerts in the States here, across the country, in theaters for a Drummer Boy Christmas.
Oh, beautiful.
That we've done this tour for years now. We wanted to make it a bit more of an intimate time. And funnily enough, we've been talking a lot about, we have to do Drummer Boy Christmas in Australia at some point. So we'll have to figure that one out as well.
Yeah, but talking about this song, World on Fire, Joel, when people listen to this song, what do you want to leave with them? What are you hoping that song really does in the hearts of people?
Well, it's isn't it funny? It's an avant-garde title. And I think you jump to conclusions a bit and you go, oh, they're just, singing about the state of the world. And we sort of wanted to flip the phrase on its head. It's so much more about our world being on fire. And Fel, you said it well. It's this little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. we're letting a lot of things shine right now for positive and for negative. You know, our social media comments or our political positions or even our religious positions, we're letting them sort of burn, if you will, or them shine, quote unquote. But what about the hallmark of what it means to be a Jesus follower? You know, what about love? What about that light shining? What about the fruit of the Spirit? And it's really it's an anthem, call to action, to get back to the hard truth of what it simply means to align yourself with the ways of Jesus, and that is to lead with love.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. If you take us back, Joel, to when you were first coming up with the idea for the song, can you remember where you were and what you were doing and walk us through that process of this coming into your hearts to then share with the rest of the world?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Phil, it was right after we were coming back from Australia. We just done that tour with you all, the homecoming tour last year, which was just magical. And we'd flown basically straight from there to the UK to do a premiere for our film Unsung Hero. And Luke and I found ourselves at Oxford. And we were walking through the colleges, and there was a little cobblestone cutout in the middle of the college. And it had a sort of a cobblestone cross in the middle. And we turned to the gentleman that was showing us around and said, "What's this?" And they said, "Oh, there were 2 Protestant martyrs that were burned at the stake here." And one of them turned to the other and said, basically, "Mark my words, Master Ridley, today we have lit a fire in the world that will soon not be put out." And we were just really both moved by this idea of like radical belief and radical faith and radical love, like we said. And so I think for us that was sort of the spark that lit the fire of the idea, if you will.
That's a really good answer, and what a great story behind a song. You know, Joel, you're obviously really well known for the songs you guys perform and all the concerts and all the billions of streams, but in your personal life, how do you like to encounter God in worship? Do you like doing it on your own at home, or do you like going to church services, or do you sneak in incognito to big worship events and get your worship on there? Like, tell us about that time with God when no one's watching you.
It's always the other way around, isn't it, Andy? It's this. I love music. I've dedicated my life to music, but it's such a familiar expression of connection with God that I still find it. But it's few and far between. I had the really rare, distinct opportunity of going to an Andrea Bocelli show last week, who's this sort of virtuoso vocalist. And I just wept because it was one of the first. It was this massive orchestra and this choir and this just world-renowned vocalist, and it just felt like worship to me. And I think part of what I've been looking for is like God shows up in such unexpected places. So where will He show up? You know, if we limit Him to a church building or to a quiet time or to a Bible study, all really good things and hallmarks of faith and my faith, but He's in us and around us, and in Him we have our being. And so it's really going on the search. We have a Great Dane. Because I've been home, as you mentioned, Phil, this year, I'm just going for morning walks, just me and the puppy, you know, and we're far enough out, sort of in the bush or the forest, as they would say here, where I can have sort of open verbal conversations with God. Like, it's just stuff like that really, I pray. One of the rare things we'll do, now I'll finish the answer with this, but Mariah and me, 2 things we do each night. We pray and we have a 6-second kiss each night, because they say that 6-second kisses are a way to create connection. So it's sort of, we pray together and then we go off to sleep. And that's been really, just a simple thing. It's been really profound as well, you know.
6 seconds.
Wow.
Okay, I'm writing that down, Joel. Making notes. Murray, when I get home.
Study. Look it up, Phil.
Really?
Look it up if you're driving or listening. Don't do it while you're driving. But,
No.
But type it in, the 6-second kiss, and you'll find that there's a study that for those you love, if you hold a kiss for 6 seconds, it actually sort of does it physically bonds you in a way.
Really?
And so, yeah.
Because we've been talking about the 20-second hug.
Some nights we don't want to, and then some nights we really want to, you know?
So it averages out.
You get to the 6 second. Whatever, you're getting to that 6 second mark. Is there some nights you're like literally counting it down? That's 3, 2, 1, and we're out.
Well, I made a rule that if you there's no rollover second. So if you get to 5 and then it stops, you have to redo it.
Got to reboot.
I could keep having like a bunch of consecutive 5-second kisses, you know.
Well, you might be doing that on purpose, I reckon, some nights.
Well, I'm glad you added that in because I'm just thinking to myself, wow, for a muso, this guy's quite disciplined, quite
very
organised. It
impressive.
surprises me. I thought musos were just so, in the moment
flighty
and
or
nothing
something.
planned, go with the flow.
Very impressive.
No, I got to have my order, my friend. I got to have my order.
We're learning so much. I wonder, Joel, listening to your story, and you're standing there on the very spot where there were martyrs for their faith, and now we've got this brilliant new song, "World on Fire," and we're noticing across the world. We're seeing it here in Australia. There's a leaning into the things of God. It's like an awakening. Joel, what are you hoping, and what are you thinking? We'd love to see coming into 2026 something shaking in the body of Christ. What are you seeing?
Well, I have a sort of what I hope to see and a caution, if I dare, Fel.
Yeah.
And I'll start with the caution because I don't love to focus on the negative, but I would say beware of the loud, clanging, noisy, posturing version of things. You know, the Bible has a lot to say about the clanging of cymbals and the sort of the posturing of prayer out in front for people to see, and that they've kind of got their reward there. What I'm seeing, I love that you said awakening. I've not heard it associated. I've heard revival or evolution. I'm not awakening though. I love that. I want to pay attention to the unexpected places where it's sort of this quiet flood or this spreading of this fire, if you will, and where it's just unassuming and it's humble, but it's deep and it's true. And so I long to see that in Australia. I long to see that around the world. I long to see it obviously in the States here. And I think we are, but it's always going to show up in a way that we don't quite expect. You know what I mean?
Well, that sounds good to me, Joel. Gee, we need something. We definitely need a move of God. I mean, you mentioned Oxford University. Some of the greatest missionaries in the world have come out of Oxford. I think John Wesley came out of Oxford, as did Whitfield. And you look at the West now, we certainly need that awakening or that revolution, whatever we want to call it. We're all praying and believing for a move of God. And I suppose, how do you want for King and Country to be positioned in the future of what God does? Just keep doing what you're doing? You guys going to do something crazy and start a church somewhere and become pastors? And
Oh, wow.
tell us about the future, Joel. What are you sensing?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So I've found that there are prime ministers and pastors, 2 jobs that I'm not really keen on, or presidents as well,
Yeah, add that one.
So I'll stick with being a poet. Look, I can't go into too much detail, but I can say that we want to be a part of it. We're very keen to be a part of the conversation, and we hope to put music has a way, particularly spiritual music, has a way of putting language to a cry of a people. And we started working on World on Fire a year ago, and decided on the date and the song 4 months ago, and then in America and around the world, you've had all of these incredible, tragic and incredible events that have happened from that day to this. So we really feel like God is sort of ordering our steps, and we're excited to pay attention to that. But I will say this, there is music and there are movies. And what if there was a marriage between the two? And hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight.
Okay. Bit of a clue there.
Joel.
What we're cooking up.
We're cooking with gas, I would say. Joel, we have to let you go, but can we just say, and we just pray, we're continually praying for you guys as Australian ambassadors in the US, but what you're doing, it means so much to us. We're blessed by your music, but moreover, we're blessed by your hearts and that heart for God and to lead people. You're doing a great job. You're doing us proud, and we're so thankful for you and everything you're doing for Australia over there in the US. Thanks for spending some time with us here on Rise and Shine.
Thank you, Fel. And hey, by the way, thank you we still claim you, you're on our crest and all the rest of it. Thank you for still claiming us. I was even reminded when we were sort of indulgent enough to name our last Australian tour, the Homecoming Tour. A prophet sometimes is not accepted in their own town. And you guys really rolled out the red carpet for us and really loved on us. And it was that trip was a life moment for me. And so it touches my heart that we feel loved and accepted from afar, and that, hey, I'm gonna lay claim to that concept of being an ambassador of Australia over here. That's our job.
There you go.
We love you guys.
Well, this is Joel Smallbone from For King and Country. We want to thank you so much, Joel, for joining us on Rise and Shine. And we just want to say thanks, mate.
Cheerio to you both.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.